Hello, this is lesson 8 in a series of 10 lessons where we are learning about the volume of different shapes. And in this lesson 8, I want us to solve questions related to volume, but which also have unit conversions. If you don't understand about unit conversions, you can visit our lesson 7, then you come back to this lesson 8. So, can we start? In the first question, here you are told a cuboid of 10 dimensions 120 millimeter by 8 centimeter by 0.5 meters. Work out the volume of the cuboid in centimeter cubed. So we already know the length of that cuboid L is 120 millimeters. Then the width is 8 centimeters. And the height is given by 0.5 meters. I think so. Yes, 0.5 meters. 0.5 meters, like that. Then we know volume V or cuboid is given by length multiplied by width multiplied by height. But as you cannot from the dimensions, we are taught to give the answer in centimeter cubed. So before we do the solution, we need to convert these units, all of them, to be centimeters. The width is already in centimeters, so we don't need to convert it again. But we need to convert the length in centimeters. And we said in lesson 7 that 1 centimeter is equivalent to 10 millimeters, like that. So you ask yourself, how about 120 millimeters is equivalent to how many centimeters? So from there we cross multiply, where we take 120 multiplied by this 1 centimeter here, then we divide by this 10 millimeter there. And from there we can cancel that 0 with that, then it becomes 12 multiplied by 1 is 12, divided by 1 is still 12 centimeters. So now the length becomes 12 centimeters. Then we go, width is okay, so we go to the height. And the height is 0.5 meters, and we said 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. So you ask yourself, about 0.5 meters is equivalent to how many centimeters? So as usual, we cross multiply, where we take 0.5, we multiply by this 100 here, then we divide by this 1 meter here. Since here we have 1 decimal, we can just cancel 1 0 there. It becomes 50 centimeters, like that, because we moved that 0 cancelled, made us move this decimal to here. Then we multiply by 10, it becomes 50 centimeters. So now that we have all the units in centimeters, we can find the volume. Volume V, which is given by length multiplied by width multiplied by height, but we already know the length is 12 centimeters, then the width is 8 centimeters, and the height is 50 centimeters, like that. So now the volume will be 12 multiplied by 8, which is 96, 96 multiplied by 50, which will be 4800. Then this centimeter multiplied by this centimeters multiplied by this, it will be centimeter cubed, and then becomes the solution for that question. Can you try another example? So in this question 2, you are told a cylinder has a radius of 35 millimeters and height of 12 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the cylinder in centimeter cubed. Give your answer to 3 significant fingers. And as we said, of course, volume is the space occupied by the given shape. In our case, the shape is a cylinder, so the volume is the space occupied by this cylinder. And we said volume V of a cylinder is given by the area, base area, which is pi r squared, then multiplied by the height. So here we need to have the radius first, because pi is a constant. Pi already is, we can say it is 3.142. Then the radius we are given here, it is 35 millimeter. 5 millimeter. And then the height we are given as 12 centimeters. Like that. So from there, we can, first of all, since we are taught to give the answer in centimeter cubed, so radius is the one which is not in centimeters, we can convert it to centimeters before we start the calculation. And here we said 1 centimeter is equivalent to 10 millimeters. We did this in lesson 7. So you ask yourself, how about 35? Sorry, here, how about 35 millimeters is equivalent to how many centimeters? So we cross multiply like this. We take that 5, we multiply by 1. This 1 here, we divide by this 10. So it becomes 3.5 centimeters, like that. And now that we have all the dimensions in centimeters, we can find the volume V, which is given by pi, but we already know pi is 3.142 multiplied by r, but now r squared, and we know r is 3.5 centimeters, but now squared, then multiplied by height, which is also 12 centimeters. Then from there, we can say V is equivalent to 3.142 multiplied by 3.5 squared is 12.25, and we multiply again by 12, like that. So V becomes 3.142 multiplied by 12.25 multiplied by 12 will be 147, like that. Then from there, we can multiply this 3.142 by 147, which becomes 461.814. But we are told in the question to give the answer in 3 significant fingers. So from there, then it means we count the first 3 fingers on this left side of the decimal point, which is 1, 2, 3. Then we check the first value on the right of course, the first value in the decimal place, and if it's above from 5 and above, we add 1 here. If it is less than 5, we don't add 1 here. We just retain it like this. So in this case, it's 8. So 8 is way above 5. So we add 1 here. So the answer becomes 462 centimeter cubed. And that becomes the answer for that question. Let us try another question here, where we are dealing with a triangular prism. And you are told here, a triangular prism has the cross section with a base of 8 millimeter and height of 6 centimeters. Then the length of the prism is 10 centimeters. Then here, work out the area of the triangular cross section in centimeter squared, then calculate the volume of the prism in centimeter cubed. So from there, we said, of course, volume is the total space occupied by the given shape, and in our case, the shape is a triangular prism, so the volume is the space occupied by that triangular prism. And we are told, since it's triangular prism, it means it has 2 triangles here, and to find them here, work out the area of the triangular cross section in centimeter squared. Here we are given the base is 8 millimeter, then the height is 6 centimeters. So first of all, we say the base. I can say base is equivalent to 8 millimeter. Then the height, let me just call it h, is 6 centimeters. Then the cross section area should come from the area of that triangle, which we said area of a triangle here is given by half base multiplied by height. But you see, the base here is in millimeters, and we need the area in centimeters squared, so we need to convert this into centimeters. So to do so, we said 1 centimeter is equivalent to 10 millimeters, like that. So we ask ourselves, how about 8 millimeters is equivalent to how many centimeters? So we cross multiply, we take this 8 and we multiply by this 1 centimeter there, and we divide by this 10, and then it becomes, I can cancel that one by that one, then 8 multiplied by 1 becomes 8 centimeters, like that. So now we have the base in centimeters, the height in centimeters. We can get the cross-section area, which is area is given by half of the base, which is 8 centimeters multiplied by height, which is 6 centimeters, like that. So I divide this by 2, 1 by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 4 multiplied by 6, which is 24, but then the centimeters multiplied by this one becomes centimeters squared, and that becomes the answer for this here, the cross-sectional area in centimeters squared. But then we are told, calculate the volume of the prism in centimeter cubed, and we know the length of the prism is 10 centimeters. So let me put the length of the prism here, L. You already know it's 10 centimeters, like that. And then we said volume B of any prism is given by the cross-sectional area. Let me just call it C here, cross-sectional area multiplied by the length of that prism. But you see, in here, we already got the cross-sectional area, which was 24 centimeters squared. Then, to get the volume, we just need to take this cross-sectional area, we multiply by the length of the prism, which is 10 centimeters, like that. So from there, I can take this 24 multiplied by 10, which becomes 214. But you see, we have centimeter squared here and centimeter here. So centimeter squared multiplied by another centimeter. Now it will be centimeter cubed. And then becomes the answer for this question here. Calculate the volume of the prism in centimeter cubed. It becomes 214 centimeter cubed. So that's how we solve questions which have unit conversions. You can try this question 4 here, this practice question. You try to find the volume of the cylinder, and if you have any question or there is a place you don't understand, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll try my level best to answer. Let us meet in lesson 9, where we are going to explore the volume of different shape. And bye for now.